Well, we have a special opportunity today with the Buddha of the Ruby Ray. And when I asked what I should do, the answer was to go back in time to November 2004. And during that month, the same month we're in now, the Buddha of the Ruby Ray gave 2 heart streams, although they are only written. They have not been released in audio or video form. So I would like to read and have you experience the radiation and the presence and the message of the Buddha of the Ruby Ray, first from November 2nd, 2004. And this heart stream I received in Livingston, Montana at 6:33 in the morning until 7:08 in the morning. Devotees of light, truly you desire oneness with God. Truly you desire the total experience of being within the very heart of the Creator, wherein there is nothing else save love, light, and the fullness of the divine presence. Truly you would merge with and become a permanent atom in God's being, for all else is illusory, temporal, and of unreality. To know the presence of God is to become God. The leap of faith that this requires is one that few are willing to make, for it involves both the ultimate humility and trust that God will never forsake you, and the supreme love of self as the divine ego, wherein you allow that pure ego to be expressed through you. Claiming your divinity is a process and an event that only the bold ones may win, because most of mankind desire to retain something of that human non-self and nonsense that will not require of them the supreme sacrifice upon the altar of the World Mother. Would you be truly altered this day in the image divine? Would you be carried away upon the winds of the Spirit to that holy abode where Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwell, where angels of mercy communicate the very violet rose hues of the mother's love to all her children? If you would be moved to dwell with us, then first expand your sense of self to accommodate the living, vital awareness of the Spirit Most Holy where you are. When you abide within that Spirit, that fire will abide in you until it is permanent, unceasing, and eternal. A spark that has become a conflagration for all to see, which may warm many a weary traveler along life's way. Beloved ones, when will you claim your eternal birthright? You have often uttered the words, "I am immortal." Yet do you truly believe it and live with these words as engrams of fire ensconced upon your hearts? If you believe, then you will be and live as God. I am the Buddha of the Ruby Ray, and I come this day to call all my sons and daughters unto the living presence of that ruby fire, which is both a purging fire and a fire of the intensification of love that will never leave you the same, that will goad you to dwell in the very bosom of the Mother and experience both the extreme pain of her caring for all life and the bliss of the oneness with Brahma as the All, the Omnipotent One. You have been blessed, some of you many times, with the focus of the ruby ray, and yet many of you have not surrendered fully to that path that requires the all of self, the full purging, the complete surrender spoken of by Sanat Kumara. I admonish the worldwide body of Sheelas who truly desire immortality to study the beloved Sanat Kumara's words released in 1979 in his stupendous treatise on the path of the ruby ray. For I do bow before and serve this one, who is the very living presence of God to this earth and solar system. When many will take and ingest his words as the highest communion with my heart and his heart, then you will know that transformation, that sacred transubstantiation that will literally change you into beings divine. Yes, the winds of the Mahachohan blow this day. Enter the wind and ride on wings of fire, climbing higher in your chariot with Elijah and the immortal ones, until your view is new, and you understand the path and all that must be done to win hearts anew to God's grace. And then, upon your alighting back upon Terra, you will know what you must do to carry the message far and wide, so that all may abide within the very ruby fires of my heart. I am the Buddha of supreme love. Enter my heart now, as I carry you to the center of the earth and back, to experience that sun of even pressure that is both steely white hot and yet cool, that is the very focus of Helios and Vesta within the earth body, that one day will become that point of expansion of the Christic and Buddhic light, when earth shall become a star. Yes, earth shall become freedom's star, and earth shall be a star of charity, a star of the ruby and violet light for this system. And this third rock from the sun shall rise above the densities of the molten lava and rock, wherein these elements, both within the earth and within you, are transformed into the living light of the one element of love, the hydrogen factor of the one supreme light of Brahma, and earth shall become a sun. Beloved sons and daughters of the One, become sons in the earth, if you would have earth become a star of love. I am the Buddha of the ruby ray. I have spoken, and my fire is transferred to you this day. Employ it, and know the consuming action of love forevermore. So this was the first heart stream of the Buddha of the Ruby Ray through me for the Heart Center Community and Dispensation, given back on November 2nd, 2004, 14 years and 10 days ago. And then he came again in the same month on November 24th to me at 8:27 in the morning, Mountain Standard Time. Out of the silence I come. I am the Buddha of the ruby ray. And I sit in the lotus posture before you and ask that you sit in meditation today with the ruby heart of God. The ruby heart of God is a pulsing orb of fire whose needle rays penetrate all. This heart God would have as thine own, if you would have it, beloved. For the earth must receive the impetus of fire, that is the eighth ray action of sanctification, ere Aquarius be fully manifest. First it must manifest in you, for you are the seed of Buddha where you are. Silence is golden, yet it is also ruby. The ruby stillness of the Buddha quenches all fear, all perversions and poisons that attempt to lie in wait to trip you up just at the point, and you are gaining ground on becoming the Buddha where you are. When you master the ruby light, you are invincible, because the diamond presence of love, which has been accelerated beyond this plane, becomes that hardness that cannot be broken. For it is the very substance of God as his heart fire, magnified over and over, until it is truly crystallized as the rose of Sharon within. The silence of knowing is a silence that is won through pure thought. Pure thought is the entering into the mind of God, whose stream may merge with thine if you would be. If you would be, then arrest all spirals of unknowing and know God as self. Beloved, as I have traversed the earth from the core to the center and back again, I have witnessed all. I have become the all, because the all has become me. Do you see that to become the Buddha does not require effort as you think? It requires the supreme entering into oneness that says no to all that is not, all that is Maya. Touch the ground with the Vajra Mudra to say no to all that is keeping you from your oneness with the Beloved, the very heart and mind of God. Say yes to the pure stream of that mind, which would be your mind by congruence, by the confluence of love as thine own. I am the Buddha of the ruby ray. I convey light. I convey the heart fires of God. I convey love as the purest love that you can know. Supreme love that cannot be quenched, for it both consumes and creates, creates and consumes, consumes and creates, until your heart is that pulsing heart that knows all. Yes, your heart knows all. Know your heart, and you shall know all. I have come. The rippling of the light will continue from this point, and the waves of love will continue to expand and expand. May you feel them and know me as self, as heart, as the all, beloved. Aum. reflecting on these early heartstreams, I am still amazed at the radiation I feel and the very living, tangible ruby ray presence of the Buddha of the ruby ray. And we have that beautiful image that Lisa Delaney has first created and then altered later to be even more beautiful. And you can secure it if you desire in either a 5x7 or 8x10 format from our store if you desire to make a greater connection with this amazing Buddha through your meditation, within your prayers and songs, and just simply in communion daily, in order to incorporate more of the eighth ray action of ruby love in your life. Both of these heartstrings are very powerful. The first one, more of a thrust, a little longer, and very, very intense, and the action of the ruby ray. And the second one, more coming from a point of stillness first, and silence. And then, near the end, I felt still the intensity of the ruby light of divine love. So how many times has the ruby ray Buddha come to us over the years? A number of other times, yet this may have been the only year, in my memory at least, that he came twice in 1 month. So I honor the presence of the Buddha. I pray that on this Monday you too shall be ensconced in this accelerated love to perform alchemy, and even expecting miracles and blessings and bestowals and graces of this ruby light, go forth to conquer darkness and all that is anti-love with great intention, great love. Let today be a day of great love, and even as it is a postal and bank holiday, as people celebrate this sacred day in memory and commemoration of those who have given their lives to our nation, 11/11, and even as our president was in France honoring those who gave their lives in the end of World War I believe, we commemorate within ourselves the laying down of our lives in past lives and in this life through extreme or supreme sacrifice, surrender, selflessness, and service to this path of the ruby ray. If you choose to reread Sanakumara's great treatise on this path, so be it. And if you choose to take it to the next level by actually walking and talking with these great masters, because you have the wherewithal to do that, to communicate directly with Sanakumara and Lady Venus, Buddha of the ruby ray, Padre Pio, and other great ruby ray masters, Zarathustra. How about communicating directly with them and communing with them in meditation, and then feeling and sensing, intuiting and knowing what they are communicating to you directly today of their essence, their beingness, and their desireless desire to save sentient beings on earth. When we make the effort, when we put in the time, the results are fulfilled in some time, in some place, because this is the law. You put in the effort with great love and intention, great focus and determination, and eventually you will have and you will receive great light, blessings, bestowals, graces. So thank you, Kathleen and Robert and all who are there in Mount Shasta. Our blessings to to Dwin and Ron and D2. R2D2, no. Our blessings to Ron and Dwin and D and all the Ds, the Dennises and the Davids and everybody else. And I just pray that this week will be amazing for each of you. I see it as amazing. I see it as alchemical. I see it as a rebirth for you in the cycle of Scorpio. We have about another week and maybe a couple days of Scorpio, and then we go into Sagittarius. So let's make these last 10 days or so of Scorpio just phenomenal, where we envision perfection. We see the reality of the heaven world descending into earth. We know intuitively and actually heaven where we are. We see it, we believe it, we accept it, we know it, we are it. So seeing is believing, believing is seeing, and both of these become actual being when we incorporate that higher seeing into practicality through action, through work, through service, through movement. So thank you again. Must I wear out my welcome?
You are always welcome, David.
Okay.
And I'd like to say that we have, in addition to Valerie and Helen here this morning, we also have Robert Bonacker.
Oh,
Robert moved here this weekend.
Robert, I can visualize you. I can visualize your mom, Ruth, and your beautiful wife. And I'm so grateful that you're there now to add an even greater action and power and momentum of your causal body to the equation of our heart friends there. And with Robert and his beloved there, things will really dynamically increase, I believe, because of his momentum. Both he and his beautiful wife. And I have one final little thing to share. It's kind of alchemical, but I think now that it's pretty well there, it's great. Aaron Rose, who is a friend and a beautiful, beautiful man, heart friend, who's come to virtually almost all of our events there in Mount Shasta with Violet, his beloved. He and William Diamond brought back the Rosveta books from further south in California, and he will be the distributor for the Prosveta books, which are the teachings of Omraam Mikhail Ivanov, from Mount Shasta from now on. So please, when he has everything set up, and he's probably still setting up the shelves and organizing everything for the next few days, give him a week or so, and you may desire to connect with him. And if you don't have all of the teachings of Omraam Mikhail Ivanov in your personal library, I encourage you to go over there and peruse what he has, support him and his mission, our mission to promulgate the teachings of Omraam Mikhail Ivanov, which are so beautiful, pristine, perfect. I really believe that these are virtually the highest teachings that I've come across on planet Earth through Omraam Mikhail Ivanov, and coupled with what we're receiving, what many of us received through the Summit Lighthouse and other dispensations of light, the Agni Yoga, etc., we just have a compendium of truth. And it's so fantastic. And just having all the light of those books there, all the products that from Prosveta in France and in the United States, you have a great boon to Mount Shasta, because the light is in those books, and the light now will be distributed from there. It's like a fountain of ruby and pure white light coming forth from Mount Shasta all over the United States. So cherish the fact that you have a great initiate in Aaron Rose there to be the focal point for the distribution of these fantastic teachings, which really augment what we received in the summit, and to me complete them and are just nourishing to our souls. So enough said, I'll let you go now. God bless.